Most people think chess grandmasters are freaks of nature, born with photographic memories, mutants capable of seeing the future. Wrong. They have the same 3-pound blob of fat in their skull as you. The difference, they rely on a cognitive operating system that makes forgetting impossible. You study for a test, read your notes 5 times, and blank out. They glance at a board with 32 pieces and memorize it in 3 seconds. How I reverse engineered their entire system. It comes down to 4 cognitive tools. I'm about to show you exactly what they are. And by the end of this, you'll never study the same way again. Chapter 1. The Matrix of Compression. Your working memory is weak. It can only hold about 7 items at once. Cognitive psychologists call this the magical number 7. You sit down to study and try to absorb every detail, every word, every page. You're trying to drink from a fire hose. You choke, you fail, the cognitive load crushes you. Some topics are just heavy. You can't change that. But most of you make it harder than it needs to be. Experts don't do that. They simplify. They don't see 32 individual pieces scattered on a board. They cheat. They use chunking. They compress thousands of data points into a few dozen scripts. It's not about having a bigger hard drive. It's about zip filing the data. You are trying to carry loose groceries in your arms. They are putting them in easy-to-carry bags. They focus on how concept A connects to concept B. If you can't visualize the connection, you don't understand it, and you probably just memorized it. Stop looking at the trees. See the forest. But compression alone won't save you. You still need to lock it in. Chapter 2. The Brutal Interrogation. You highlight your textbooks like an idiot. When you read a text repeatedly, you recognize the words. So you think you know the material, but you actually don't. This is called the illusion of competence. It is the false confidence that comes from passive review. Review is just looking at the gym. Retrieval is the workout. Grandmasters don't passively review. They fight. They play a grueling game, get destroyed, and feel the pain. That pain is the most powerful learning tool in existence. And that tool is active recall. You need to get it wrong. When you answer a question confidently and get it wrong, your brain panics. It releases a flood of neurochemicals to correct the error. It highlights the mistake in neon lights. A mistake is not a failure. It is a biological sticky note. Students who tested themselves retained 50% more than students who just reread. 50%. The stress, the struggle to retrieve, that is the learning. If your studying feels easy, you aren't learning. If it feels like your brain is sweating, then it's working. Grandmasters seek out the resistance. They test constantly. 2 advantages down. Hit subscribe before you forget them. 1 more to go. Here's the thing though. Focus and motivation still aren't enough. You can compress data and use active recall, but you still live in an environment built for distraction. Chapter 3. The Scarcity Protocol. You have the freedom to go anywhere, so your mind goes nowhere. Phone buzzes, check it. Netflix tab, open TikTok in the background. You're not listening, you're scrolling. The University of California study found that after a single interruption, it takes 23 minutes to fully refocus. The average professional gets interrupted every 3 minutes. Do the math. You never actually focus. Your brain is addicted to cheap dopamine. Quick hits, easy rewards. Grandmasters train in total silence, removing visual input to force their brain to hold the image internally. No internet, no phone, no escape. Cal Newport calls it deep work. Sustained, distraction-free concentration. When you cut the noise, your brain literally rewires. Attention spans restore. Dense texts become fun to read. You have unlimited resources, infinite access. You learn nothing. Scarcity forces depth. You can Google anything, so you remember nothing. Your memory lives in your phone. Theirs lives in their head. Chapter 4. The Secret 20%. Most people get this wrong. They try to learn everything. Every grammar rule, every chord progression, every line of code. But here's the thing that nobody tells you. Most of what you could learn is completely useless. There's this hidden pattern in every skill. Just 20% of what you could possibly learn will give you 80% of the results. The other 80% is just noise. Grandmasters don't study every possible random game. They master the critical openings and endgames. The key is asking yourself, what's the absolute minimum I need to know to get real results? Find that crucial 20%. Ignore everything else until you've mastered it. Most people spend months learning obscure facts they'll never use, while the smart ones focus on the core and start executing within weeks. But here's the problem though. You now know how to memorize using chunking active recall scarcity and the 20% rule. But if you forget everything the next day, what's the point? Most people forget 90% of what they learn within a week. You learned something today. Tomorrow, half of it's gone. By next week, 90% deleted. Your brain is a leaky bucket. If you don't sleep right, you didn't learn. You just rented the information for 12 hours. That's why I made this video, breaking down the exact algorithm that calculates your forgetting rate and schedules your reviews perfectly. It's almost unfair. Watch it next.